શેર પરથી
સર
પછી સ્લાઇડ નથી ચેન્જ થતી.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm again back with in front of you.
સ્લાઇડ ચેન્જ થશે.
I'm Professor Dr. Nainish Modi from Gujarat University, Ahmedabad. Today we are going to very new as far as the because you have just been admitted to PhD just before few months only or maximum a year only. During your masters, you might have not done any kind of research work regarding the in arts or commerce or management or education or science. So while doing research, it is very important significance of the data because when you are doing any kind of research, must have a quality data where quantity compared to quality. So whichever you data you collect, it should be collected in a good right. So that's why I just selected this point, the methods and techniques of data collection. Because as we discussed earlier, when we present your data in front of referee will immediately find out the good and bad things in your data. If you are not able to present it properly, it can create a problem to you. If you are not able to collect it properly, then how will you present it properly? So, data collection is very important as far as your research is concerned, whether you are doing your PhD or you are doing your research apart from that degree dimensions. About the different kinds of AI tools. Today we are going to discuss this different kinds of data, different methods of data collection, different methods or techniques of data presentation also. If you follow these things during your entire PhD, then at the end of your PhD, which is generally ended with that final viva, at a time you will face minimum issues. So let us start with the first slide. It is not moving. Wait, wait, wait. It will take some time. I think we are offline.
No.
Okay. Second slide. Okay. Okay. But how can I? It's not moving. Please call me.
Sir, PPT is on screen, sir.
Okay.
Also, audio is clear, sir. There is only problem with the video. We can
Sir,
continue with audio only,
Harsha
sir.
जल्दी आओ रूम में.
Okay.
हेलो सर आओ
Yes.
ना जल्दी. हाँ.
Okay. Okay. Good. So let me stop my video, right?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Slide to આમાં પરથી જ કરીએ, video. આમાં ફરે છે ભાઈ. આમાં ફરે છે. આ ફરી આમાં. બરાબર છે. આમાં ફર્સ્ટ સ્લાઇડ જ બતાડે છે. ફૂલ સ્ક્રીન ઓછો કરતા પેલું તમે કરતા હતા ને દર વખતે. ફૂલ સ્ક્રીન ની જગ્યાએ
Oh.
sir, we are trying to solve this technical issue just for a moment. Please excuse me.
Yes, sir. No problem.
જે વિન્ડો શેર કરતો ને વિન્ડો થી શેર કરીને તારે થાય છે એ સિવાય નહીં થાય. ઉભા રહેજો મને એમ દેખાય છે તમે ઉભા કરતા. હા હવે સ્લાઇડ બતાડે છે હવે નેક્સ્ટ સ્લાઇડ કરો તો.
Next. Next.
ફર્સ્ટ સ્લાઇડ
એ શેર છે એવી રીતે મેં કરી હતી ને એવી રીતે કરવી પડશે.
शिवांगी तुम्हारा लैपटॉप ले लो उसमें चालू करो. तो नेक्स्ट स्लाइड आपने कहा
आप ही नेक्स्ट થઈ ગયું? હલો, ઓકે ઓકે.
સર હવે આવે છે ચેન્જ થાય છે.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's working.
હવે આને મોટું થઈ શકશે ને
હવે
આ બસ હવે ચાલે. અમુક ફોર્મેટ અમુક બદલાઈ ગયા પણ અક્ષરો આખા બધા થઈ ગયા. First slide. Okay, next.
તમે એવું લેપટોપ ક્યાં નહીં રાખો, તમારે જો રાખો
Slide.
પીપીટી ખોલો.
PPT ખોલી. આ પહેલી સ્લાઇડ છે.
આ પહેલી સાઈડ
સ્લાઇડ કઈ છે?
આ વાળી.
બસ આ. So we are discussing.
પેલું ચાલુ ને.
So sorry for friends for the interruption, but let us start with the research. You can say it is a systematic and scientific process. As you all know, systematic and scientific process is the research because you need the working as well as it should be in a scientific way, where investigating a particular topic also you have to validate existing theories, or sometimes you may be behind solving some problem. Example, you are investigating data. If you are getting a data from a bank, that how many customers, they complete your work online, how many customers they visit the ATM, and with which in front of how to just investigate it in a particular manner, in a scientific and systematic way. Easy thing when you are doing research, when you put such things in your mind from beginning to end, right? Where solution will be there first of all, then it will be the data processing, the whatever data you have got, you have to process it properly, right? And which kind of data is there and what are the meanings of this data, and then only you can able to find out some new thing, or you can find out older principle, right? So these things you should be you should have in your mind. Next, please. Research are of different types, right? The first we can say that is the basic research and applied research. The basic research, as you things only. While applied research, you can go with applied parts. You can have also the other kinds of research like observational research, or descriptive research, or explanatory research, quantitative, qualitative research, mixed method research. research can be of many types. Principally, we can divide it into two types, basic and applied. But these all are the kinds. In total, we can classify it into 10 different categories from 1 to 10. Next, please. So we will discuss each in very focus is on understanding fundamental principles with immediate practical applications. The second is the applied method that seeks to solve whichever existing knowledge is there, right? We'll try to use that existing knowledge and we'll try to solve a practical problem. That will be where investigates new or unclear phenomenon of generate initial insights. Right? To generate initial insights, we try to solve those unclear phenomena and we try to give the solution for such things, and that will be known as explanatory research. Will observe subjects in their natural environment without interference. Where, like you are going to some ecosystem and you are trying to observe things like animal disturbing there, that will be known as observational research. You will not even touch anything. You will just observe it. You will just click photographs or take some videos of them. And then you will do your research work will be named as observational research. Then the descriptive research, which is generally or linguistic people, where describe characteristics or trend of a population of or phenomenon, where sometimes science people can describe the things or they will describe certain particular kind of populations or some phenomena. Next, please. The next is the causes of reasons behind a phenomenon. Quantitative, where uses numerical data and statistical techniques. Even statistics comes to focuses on exploring subjective experiences, perspectives, and generally it is a combination of quantitative as well as qualitative approaches or comprehensive analysis. You are doing a huge analysis, comprehensive analysis research as well as quantitative research, which is generally termed as mixed method research. And the last but not the least, that is a experimental research, which involves manipulation, just like in medical science, we generally find out new medicines, right? Where we have to perform particular experiments. We in chemical science we perform experiments, right? And adding something to living being, we just try to observe effects of. We observe it and we conclude something, right? So these 10 types of research are available. Next, please. Let us discuss with the data collection. This data collection refers to the systematic process of gathering information from various sources to address a specific research. We know this word properly, but how we will go during our PhD work, let us discuss this thing. This process is essential insights and ensuring the validity and reliability of research findings. You must process this, we must do this process, right? Because meaningful insights with meaningful insights, and it should ensure the validity and reliability. So this is very important. After the research problem has been defined and research designed, right? So whenever you finish the thing that you okay, means you have already now decided the research problem. First of all, you will have to find out the research problem. Okay, you have after doing that, you will have to start the collecting of data. Next, please. There are majority two types of data: quantitative data and qualitative data, right? Where some types are also there, like in qualitative data, you can go with the process named as interview transcripts or open-ended survey response. So these two major type of data collection is there, or types of data is there, quantitative as well as qualitative. Decide which kind of process or which steps you can actually follow, right? So first of all, you have to decide when to data is very important, okay? Because when you are doing a research work on plants, say for example plants or animals, so all animals they have a specific season for reproduction, right? So you have to decide at what time you will get the otherwise your data may be incomplete or insufficient or incorrect also, right? So it is important. The second thing is which data to collect. It is also important that whether you are going to will be of no use. So both these things are very important. Simultaneously, the way of collecting data, that how will you methods to collect the data depends on your discipline. When you are in education, then the data collection method is different. When you are in commerce or when you are in management or you are doing anything in banking, then every time your the method of selection is okay. And the third thing was I just left it, that was the who will collect the data. It is possible that person who is doing the research in himself can the number of or the mass of the data is used, then he can have the assistance from the other people also. So this which, who, and how. You must remember these things. Next, please. So here the case of data collection that nature of data, target population, and resource available. You have to first identify these things. Method is important first of all, where research objectives which clearly define what you aim to achieve. What is your quantitative, qualitative for mixed data? That is again, which can be referred as the nature of data. Then they consider time, budget, and extra kind of resource you have available, whether you have more time or less time, what is your actual budget, and which kind of expertise is required to collect that with the data collection. And the next one is the target population, that you should ensure and accessibility to the group of phenomena. And you are collecting the data of people, then you will have to choose proper target, which to choose proper time. Okay, sometimes if you are working on the population growth of lion, right? Population growth of lion in Gir century. At that time, you will have to find out whether the particular breeding season of lion. If you are not doing the breeding season data, right? In that case, you will have to depend on the secondary data, which is generally produced by the forest department or important during data collection. The next one, that is the method of data collection. Next one, the method of data collection. How will just like mentioned in the previous slide, that is the primary data and the secondary data. Just say for example, so which we have just discussed or just I mentioned about the go to the forest, you count the current population of lion, you wait for the breeding season, and then after breeding season you again count the count how many lions got dead, and yourself you are doing everything. You are collecting the entire data, original data, first time, then it is called as primary data. The other type of data that is called as secondary data, where those which have already been collected by someone else or some government agency, right? Anyone else who have collected the data, okay, and which have through some statistical analysis and secondary data. So such two types of data are there. Now you have to find out which kind of data you are going to collect. Let us discuss something about the primary data collection. Okay, there are again few types in primary data collection, where you can start with the experiment survey, or you can do it with the interviews with the people. Okay, when you are say for example you are working on particular tribal people in Dang district, right? Say for example, then you have to go there everywhere. You have to meet people and just interview them according to your need of the research, right? Or you can collect the data with your observations only, or questionnaires, where you can prepare a questionnaire which is going to be asked to the people, or you may ask yourself when you are observing something. You have the questionnaire Just observe the particular thing and decide the answers. Then go to other thing, decide the answers. Then go to other thing, observe and decide the things. There are two ways, okay? But these four major things are included in primary data collection, right? So these are the four types. The next one is the primary data collection, which we can perform with the use of interviews, right? Where interviews can be direct personal investigation or indirect oral investigation. Things you are going to perform like direct contact with the source, personal data collection, or no direct contact with the subject, data from third party, depends, varies on your requirement, which kind of research you are doing, that will decide this which type of or which option you will select. Okay. The next one is the primary data collection questionnaires. Okay. So where you can prepare a questionnaire, you will have to prepare, particularly in education or sometimes in arts or even sometimes commerce, where generally the things depends on the questionnaire based research only. In science, because in science generally this survey based research are done very less. In science generally the only few research in science where the survey kind of work is also done by you need to these points like definition, delivery formats, then mailing methods or other. Then you need two things to be observed properly: data collection method and set of questions. In delivery format, this also done. While in mailing method, the send to informants or with the cover letter and the listing is there. Consideration for primary data collection questionnaire. For sequence of question, the next one is the sequence of question. How will you form a sequence of from in your left side of your screen? That we start, then okay. Next is the easy. The general information should be asked. Then subject related questions should be placed. Then personal or socio-economic questions should be there. The sequence, I am telling you the sequence, right? And in the near the end, the sensitive question. Sensitive question first. It is possible that the person you are interviewing may refuse to give you answers. So you have to start very softly and then go gradually, little bit stronger. So very first, so the person will get interest in your subject, then collect some general information about the person, then subject related questions can be followed by the personal socio-economical questions, and then in the end, few sensitive questions can be asked. So this should be the flow of your questionnaire. Next is the which types of questions can be asked. See, here is I have put one very important movie pic where if you remember this occasion, right, where person is asking the wrong question. Okay, I think I hope you understand that the person is asking. So sequence is very important. See here. First of all, that person with a small turban is asking whether you have how many kids. Okay, the first question is how many kids have you have. The lady is answering, I have 2 kids. And then the person is asking whether you are married or not. See, it is very silly question or silly kind of sequence of questions in India particularly, right? Then the lady got annoyed. So this is a very important example of the sequence of questionnaire. You must be consider it very properly. Otherwise, you may get some or you may face some difficulty, right? Like where there are so many things I have put, right? Like contingency, that ask only if a prior condition is met. Where this thing is very important. If prior condition is met properly, like are you married, and then you can ask the questions how many kids you have. Otherwise, if you invert the sequence of the question, then you may be in trouble. Okay. Then the same thing. The second thing is the matrix. Okay. The same response scale for many questions. Okay. So where you can consider the satisfaction scale. Next is the close-ended. Sometimes fixed response options are also can be given to the person. Okay, yeah, for this question, you will have to give me answer either in yes or no, or you can give 4 options like MCQ, multiple choice questions, right? Like that, or you can give the rank order. Okay, you have this much choice. Please select from 1 to 10, right? So these are called as closed-ended questions, and some questions may be asked which are open-ended, like free response. The person can respond free, right? So you may ask on geopolitical situation, or you can ask what is your say about the current situation in climate change, or you may ask the how the banks are working, how the municipal corporation is working. Then in such condition, it is open-ended question where the person can speak anything. It may speak in favor or it may speak against the particular thing, right? It has all rights. It may give you the answer in a word or it can give you answer in a sentence or more, few sentences or few words, like that. Such kind of things can be called as open-ended questions. So these 4 categories are very important as far as the types of questions are there. The next one is this is the questionnaire design process, right? How will you design your questionnaire? For that, first of all, draft the questionnaire and then do a pilot study. In pilot study, you will not have to find out so many samples, right? You can fix that. We will do a pilot study with 5 or 10 samples only. After doing that pilot samples, they check the clarity and relevance. After checking the clarity and relevance, please identify the weakness of yourself, weakness of your questioner. Whether I am able to get the thing as answer which I actually assume or not, which I was expecting or not. So that is the weakness that you have to identify the weakness of your questionnaire. Okay? And then accordingly modify the questions. I am not able to get the proper answers, then please change the question or modify the question accordingly. And then you get the final question. Otherwise, if you start without doing any pilot project, it is possible that your entire work may be ruined. Okay. Now let us discuss about the primary data collection and observation. The observation method involves collecting data by watching and recording behavior, events, or conditions as they naturally occur. So such data will be named as observation data, right? When you are watching someone or watching something, you are recording its behavior. It may be an animal, it may be a plant, it may be a vehicle or anything else. Okay. So you recording the behaviors. It is not compulsory that you have to record from the with the help of the video camera only. You can put your records on paper also. So recording the behaviors. Okay. Please remember this thing. Recording. It is not things that you will record with the video camera only. Okay. So you may record the behavior, events, even conditions as they naturally occur. The observer systematically watches and notes specific aspects of a subject's behavior or an environment either. Okay, you need to observe it properly, systematically, and you have to watch it properly and then not the specific aspects of a subject. Okay, its behavior. Then suitable use cause where studying user interactions with the product or monitoring wildlife behavior or assessing classroom dynamics. The research can be done at anywhere, right? Even you are teaching some people, teaching some kids, and you can also start research on them, that how they behave, right? Or which kind of dynamics are there, which kind of different kinds of castes are there, where people are, you can say these people are, by means tribal people are interested more in study, or urban people are interested in studying this thing more, like we can have science, commerce, arts, management, and many things. So you can observe those things only. That is also a research, right? Next one is where primary data collection. Okay, you can do it with the experimental research. Okay, so in experimental research, methodology, group structure, and process. The three things can be considered properly. In methodology, where variable manipulations, determining effects, and control environments. These three things are very important to be considered. While in group structure, there are two things to be considered. That is the control group and experimental group. And in process, applying treatment and comparing outcomes. These two things should be considered properly. Now, next one is the which will be the focus group for primary data collection. You have to find out the focus group. Which group should be properly, or which group should be focused during your primary data collection. That is the most important part, actually. Once you have prepared a question, fine. Now you will have to focus on the group. You will have to select the group. If you are doing work related to behavior of tribal people, and you start your work in city like Ahmedabad and Rajkot, then will it be significant work? No. For that, you will have to go to particular place and find out which people should be asked these questions. Okay? So, first of all, a group of people should be formed. Then discussion for a particular topic is initiated. You go to a particular place, gather some people, and start initiate some discussion regarding the particular topic. Right? Initiate that thing. Then, in depth, quantitative feedback is recorded. Right? First of all, you initiated the talk. The talk is now in full form. Then you start recording the responses of each and every member of that group, right? And then you can use in marketing, media, and discussion of controversial topics. If you have collected those responses, then you can use it in different way. Okay. So this flow should be maintained. The next one is the steps for conducting focus group. Okay. Uh, first of all, you can recruit the right participants. First of all, participants should be selected properly, and they should be recruited properly. Right. Uh, if a group of people are doing the survey for you, then select few people which are actually good in that work. Then that group should be moderated properly. So a moderator above them can be appointed, right? And then record the meeting for future purposes. Also, this should be done. Then you also write the clear discussion guidelines that which kind of things will be discussed during this process. Then conduct the session and generate a report. You can, if the data is collected, then conduct a session and generate a proper report and use that data to make a plan or of action. So this can be the steps for conducting focus group. The next one is the primary data collection information from local sources or correspondence. In this method, for collecting the data, the investigator appoint correspondents or local persons at various places. If you are doing this survey in different banks of Ahmedabad district, right? Then you will have to appoint particular person in particular group of branches, right? And he will be responsible for collecting the primary data from particular branch only. So, or you are doing some work in some other places or remote places, then you have to appoint a local person only, right? So, in this way, you will have to find out people for collecting the data, which are being furnished by them to investigator. Okay. The next one is with the help of correspondent and local person, the investigator can cover a wide area. You are not able to cover the wide area alone. And in such case, if your work is spread over the kilometers or a huge area, then you will have to just appoint such person. Okay. And secondary data types. The secondary data types can be of different types. As we mentioned earlier, that secondary data is the data which is collected by someone or which is established by someone, and we are using the data for your research. That is called the secondary research. And in this secondary research, we can consider the published sources. Like published resources, we can have data from government publications or semi-government publications like different universities or anything else, or publications of trade association, journals, or and papers. These all are published data. You can use that data, but that will be named as secondary data, right? Even international publications or local publications or state level publications or national publications, these all are. If they are doing any publication and that is already statistically qualified, then that data can be used by anyone, and but that will be named as secondary data, right? It can be a published or unpublished. Like unpublished, you may have some different things like if some teacher has gathered some data, or some professor has gathered some data, or some other organizations, government or other organizations who have collected the data but not published. But all these kind of data will be considered as the secondary data, right? This information which has been collected, processed, either published then or unpublished. If you are getting data from someone else, maybe some person or some agency or government, then their data will be considered as the secondary data. We'll move little faster because we have just 25 minutes left. Will not go in detail because there are so many secondary data published sources. You can go just previous slide. Just these are the sources of published data, right? You just go through these slides. First one is the government publication. The examples are the government publication of statistics or the annual survey of industries, statistical abstract of India, like that. These are the examples. This another one is the semi-government publications, like municipality, some councils or metropolitan councils, like that. They are referred as semi-government. Then publication of trade association like Sugar Mills Association, like that. There are so many associations. Then journals and papers, we know about the many journals and many papers are published even daily, right? The journal may be from journal to international level. All this data which you get put this thing in front of you. How can you this is just an example how you can collect the data. Like this is a very simple data in table. You can see the year-wise rice production. Okay, year-wise rice production in India, which is in million tons. They start with the 50-51 up to 20 to 23, which is estimated. But up to 2021, it is proved data. From starting with the 20 million tons to 120 million tons. Now you have this data. Now you can have more data regarding this. How can we have more data? Then we'll have to find out the data state-wise. You can classify this data state-wise. If you have 120 million tons of rice production during the year 2021, 2020 to 2021, then which state produced how many tons of rice? Then this data can be classified more. So here you can generate data in such way according to your requirement, whether you want to focus on entire big community like a country, or you can restrict yourself to a particular state only, or you can go with other classified examples also. So that depends on you which kind of data you require, but you can prepare such tabular form. Then how will you process the data? First of all, your collected data should be organized next this. The collected data should be organized in such a way so the table charts can be prepared for presentation. As I show you earlier, that table can be prepared or the chart can be prepared. So the data should be prepared or data should be collected in such a way that you can prepare a table or you can prepare a chart. Okay, where the first step will be the editing, then the coding, then the classification of data, and the data will be converted into a tabular form. So this will be the flow of your data collecting work. Next is the data processing editing, right? So how will you process the data? How will you edit the data? So editing, that means rectifying, correcting, and arranging data in proper order. You cannot put the data, please. You can say, I will put the data of 2021. Okay. Then I will put the data of 1999. Then I will put the data in third row. I will put the data of 2025. Then I will put the data in fourth row in 1975. You cannot put or present the data in such a way. You can understand that it should be in proper way. So you have to rectify the data, correcting the data, and you have to also arrange the data. Of that rice table, okay, the all the numbers of rice production should be mentioned in one unit only, right? Million tons. We use the million tons. If you use million tons for first row data, and then you in second row you change the unit in kilogram, then it will not the proper data. So the properly data should be rectified, corrected, and arranged properly. The next one is it is a process of examining data collected through questionnaire or interviews. Then editing helps to detect and correct errors and omissions. It is the first step before data analysis. If you are doing analysis, then before doing analysis, it should be done properly. Then edited data ensures accuracy, then consistency and completeness, right? And like and edited unedited newspaper or film or unedited data is collected some time or some place, and then the after collecting the entire data, the person will come to office and then it will perform the research. So to these two are the different methods where it is up to you whether you want to edit it in field itself or you want to collect the data once and then come back to office and then you want to edit. It depends on the quantity of data and the quality of data and also the liking of the researcher. It may use accordingly. Okay, the field editing data will be generally done by the researcher itself, investigator itself. It will be carried out by himself only. While when you choose the second option, then you may ask for help from other sources. So these are the pros and cons of both the methods, types of editing, field editing as well as the centralized editing. You can go through the points, raise the points. Sir, I am audible? Am I audible, sir? Sir, am I
Yes,
audible?
yes, you are audible.
I just lost the connection for a few seconds only. So here are the things you can consider it as a rules or principles of coding, which is on your right hand side. So go through it. That assign code numbers to each respondent and response. Coding should be exhaustive. Categories must be mutually exclusive. Each category should be represent a single concept. Coding frame should be prepared in advance. Coding errors should be minimized, as well as few significance of codings are also there, like helps in meaningful classification of data, simplifies qualitative information, as try to simplify all the qualitative information, save time during analysis when you are doing analysis, which is going to save your time. If you have done the data coding properly, then it is going to save your time. It ensures the uniformity in responses and makes data suitable for tabulation also. So coding is such an important, and you must do any kind of research. When you are doing any kind of research, and your data should be properly coded due to these reasons. Next, please. So here the data processing classification, we go if whether it is not seen or seen, right? I hope that you are able to see the next slide. Slide is not moving, rather it is not showing anything. Sure.
Yes.
Yes. Now it is visible. So here is the next slide where data processing classification should be done properly. There are certain rules for classification, like classification must be exhaustive. Class should not overlap. One class should not overlap to the other class. They should be properly classified properly, and must suit the objective of the study. If you are not doing any, if you are not classifying the things properly according to the object of your research, then it is not going to help you. The significance of what is the significance of classification? Like that facilitates the tabulation. Again, the previous one like that leads to valid conclusions. If you have a proper data and if you have classified it properly, then it is going to give you very easily. You are going to easily conclude whatever the findings are there, and makes the interpretation easy and meaningful. So these are the important for important things for data processing classification. Next, please. These are the different types of classification. Okay, the maybe based on attributes, example like AB, right, small AB, or based on the class intervals, like examples 5,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 10,000, or between 10,000 to 15,000. Accordingly, you can classify based on attributes or based on class intervals, right? Where certain subclasses are also given. You can go through the both are in qualitative form. First one is the qualitative form, and the second one is the quantitative form. Okay, where you just go through the 4 points in each subclass. I give you 10 seconds. I already mentioned this thing for the tabulation. What should be done when you are doing a tabulation or you are preparing a table, where I give you few idea for the production, where I give you some idea that should be the proper manner, proper units should be maintained, proper sequence should be maintained, right? You can do it manually. Rules and regulations must be observed properly, right? What are the importance of tabulation? That it is going to simplify computation. It makes comparison easy. You can compare the data, different data very easily when you put it into a table. So if you put a table in front of people, then people may understand very easily. So you start speaking the sentences, then it is little bit difficult compared to the table. Okay. So here I have mentioned types of tables as well, types of tabulation. You just go through it, just 5 seconds. Next is the which kind of components should be included in table, like table number, title, row of column heading, body of the table, and unit of measurement. Unit of measurement is again very important because if you change the unit in different rows, then the table will be of no use, right? Row and column heading must be properly put. If the data is of more columns and more rows, then each row should contain a title and each column should contain a proper title, right? Entire table must be given a proper title and number. So yeah, here are certain rules of tabulation: arrange rows and columns logically, define unit clarity, avoid overcrowding. बहुत ज़्यादा you should not put huge data in a single table. If your data is very huge, then divide it into few or more tables. Avoid abbreviations and symbols like etc. Okay. Do not use dictomarks. Use NA or dash for missing data. Place miscellaneous items in last row. If certain miscellaneous items you have collected or observed, then put it into the last row and table should meet study requirement. Your table should meet study requirement. If you are doing a study on particular thing, like if you are doing a study on, as we mentioned earlier, the case, the population of gill lions, okay, and you are putting data of bank employee in Sabarkantha district, you can understand. So means the table should meet the study requirement. That is again an important thing. The next one is the data processing. For data processing, generally we use graphs and charts, right? Which is very important and very easy for presenting our data. When we will present our data, the graphs and charts will help us, will also help the person in front of you to understand you very easily. Okay? So these two things must be used as much as possible, right? See their purpose of charts and graphs to visually represent information that cannot be easily read and interpreted from a table, to show trends and changes in statistical data. You can show the statistical data, or you can use the statistical data to just show the change that during this time it was like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. So it will be easy for you to make comparisons between two different set of data, or when making to make prediction of forecast. So if you are doing something which can be forecasted how the future will behave, even it can help you. So these two things, remember during your research work, the graph and charts are going to help you the most. Okay, so try to prepare maximum number of graphs and charts in your thesis as well as your paper. The next one is different kinds of charts which we generally use. That is, first is the line graph. I think you all you know, and I have also put some picture like line graph, the bar graph, the histogram, the frequency table, or pie chart. Generally, I love pie chart. Okay, and many people love pie chart, but it is not compulsory. Sometimes histograms are required, while sometimes the bar graph is required, while sometimes line graph explains the things better than anyone. Or sometimes the table helps to explain a very difficult thing. So these are the major ways or popular ways. May have some more, but these are the popular way of explaining or presenting your work in form of graph or chart or table, right? So next one is the data processing. We will not discuss because we are about to finish, because we have only 4 minutes left. But let us see. I think this is the second last slide, so we'll go for this. So data processing with the help of bar graph. So bar graph are used to match things between different groups. If you have two different groups and you are comparing them, then bar graph can be held properly. Okay, like if you are doing the effects of particular content or particular plant or animal, okay, then bar graph. Or if you are doing a comparative analysis between the two different tribes or two different communities or two different species of an animal or a plant or anything else, then has of divisions and are normally scaled so that all the data can fit on a graph. Now, huge data is there. No regular order of the divisions being matched. Bars on chart may be organized in any order, or bar charts organized from the highest to lowest number. Things, pattern charts. The next is the pie chart, where pie chart have been known as the most fun chart to convey data. As I told you, this is my favorite one. Okay, pie chart is my favorite one, but it depends on person to person, choice of person to person. It is simple to draw, and information can be easily conveyed through it. And it is very attractive also. Okay, This chart is praised for intuitive readability, but also criticized for the lack of accuracy. However, it remains under the popular chart overseas. And these charts break the whole data into part or to make even the most complex data simpler to grasp. As the name suggests, the chart is the form of a big pie that represents the whole data, which is divided into many parts of slices. Okay, and each just like a pizza, when you cut the pizza in proper parts, right? Accordingly, the size of the data will cut. You will cut that into that particular larger piece or smaller, like that. Each part of the pie represent a subcategory of the whole data. They help show the proportion and percentage of each category that constitute the data, as each slice is proportional to the quantity of data it represents. So I think these are the things which I wanted to discuss with you. I'm so sorry for the initial inconvenience due to that technical issue. Next, please. And these are the references which I used to prepare this entire PowerPoint presentation. And also, see, these are few sites which I used. And you can also go through these sites to collect more information regarding the things which we discussed today, right? So I hope you all have enjoyed this thing, and it will be helpful to all of you to start your research and to conduct your research, right? And with that, I am done with this presentation. Uh, uh, I thank all of you to listen me very carefully, and also thank Dr. Kavi Narsingh Mehta University for providing such opportunity to me.
Thank you, sir.
I'm there, sir. If anybody, there is no two-way communication, right? So there will be no question from the participants. Okay. So let us conclude. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm signing off.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
चलो बंद कर दे नीचे दी